The story of the Exodus begins here on the banks of the River Nile. A mighty Pharaoh has been humbled, and he allows Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. The Bible is talking about a massive mobilization of people.
The figure is given of 600,000 weapon-bearing males. If you add in the old men, women, and children, this would give you approaching 2 million people.
Our Exodus is just a bit smaller. My son Darius and I, along with our team, board a train at Luxor Station. Here we are. Number 1 and 2. We are going to find and follow the biblical route into the Sinai. But the route, the number of people, in fact, the Exodus itself, has left no archaeological trace, nor any written record other than the biblical account.
There is virtually no evidence, as the Torah says, that 600,000 Jewish males, with their wives and children and elders, left Egypt in the Exodus. Those are big numbers. You'd think someone would notice.
The Bible tells us the Pharaoh had just lost his son and many of his people to the plagues, the wrath of God. And now, with the Israelites about to flee, the Pharaoh was also going to lose a vital workforce.
With crushing results for the economy of the country and also for the political structure.
And so the Bible says Pharaoh has a change of heart. Instead of letting the Israelites go, he musters his army and pursues them.
And they wind up suddenly in a very, very bad situation. In front of them is the Red Sea. Behind them is Pharaoh's army.
And Moses says, "Have you brought us this far only to abandon us?"
Moses is there, his back is against the Red Sea. He doesn't know what to do. So the faith of our people, rooted in that tradition, in those stories, says you may think that there are insurmountable obstacles before you. Oh no, but there is a God somewhere who is going to make things right. And God gives him instruction.
God says, "Why are you shouting to me? Go!" And Moses lifts his hand, lifts the rod, and the sea splits.
Behold his mighty hand!
The most famous image, of course, comes courtesy of Hollywood in The 10 Commandments, starring Charlton Heston as Moses. Contrary to popular belief, the Bible doesn't tell us exactly where this took place, and as we tried to follow the route, we came across several possibilities. First, we traveled under the Suez Canal through a tunnel, and then across the Gulf of Aqaba on a ferry. And at the holiday destination of Sharm el-Sheikh, we dipped our toes in the Red Sea itself. One of the most dramatic moments of the Exodus story could have taken place right here. That would have been the parting of the Red Sea, of course. Only today, it's a Middle Eastern Gold Coast full of beach resorts and diving holidays, and the waters look decidedly less ominous. But today's Red Sea may not be the place. The original Hebrew Bible refers to it as Yom Suf, roughly translated as the Sea of Reeds. And that leads some scholars to suggest the story might be describing more of a marsh.
Or the lagoon of swamp grasses or something like that, which puts you in mind of a fairly shallow body of water.
Somehow a swamp crossing doesn't quite measure up to Hollywood's The 10 Commandments.
The Israelites passed through the sea on dry land, and the water was like a wall on their right and on their left.
The Egyptians are coming on their chariots and coming in, they're trying to get through that patch, and God stopped their chariot wheels. So the sea came crashing upon them and they all drowned on the command of Moses' staff.
12-year-old Samara Shav has been studying this story as she prepares for her bat mitzvah, and it's also the story that Jews commemorate every year during the Passover Seder.
These words have so much meaning, and this song in particular is really symbolizing our freedom, because this is the song that they sing once they were free. As Yashir Moshe Uvinei Yisrael.
People of African descent were singing these spirituals based on the story of Moses. Wickedness a while may reign, Satan's cause may seem to gain. All but there is a God who rules above with a hand of power and a heart of love. And if I'm right, he'll fight my battles.
Beams of heaven as I go.
The story of the Exodus is, of course, timeless, as dramatically relevant today as it ever was, because freedom is a song that continues to be sung by those who have it and those who still struggle for it.
What we say at the end of the Seder is next year in Jerusalem. Jerusalem is more than a place. You know, Jerusalem is an idea. Jerusalem is an ideal place where there are no slaves, where everybody has freedom.
Does that mean the Exodus continues? We never leave Egypt, so to speak?
Or even if we're lucky enough to have left Egypt, has everybody left Egypt? I mean, one of the great ironies, actually, of celebrating a Seder now is our thoughts are often with Egyptians, you know, and their struggles.
When they were marching in Tahrir Square, what was great was, here it was freedom that was born in this soil that had come back to this soil. What the Moses story stands for is that the power is with the powerless.
We had no guns. We hardly had to vote. We had no money. The only power that we had was the moral high ground and God.
Someday